going to do 16 days of lives to jump on here and talk to you. Sorry, dodgy connection. To talk to you about all the things over drinking, not drinking, drinking, not drinking, drinking. And really just to introduce you into a challenge that I've got coming up in the 3rd week of May called Rethink Your Midweek Drink. So I wanted to jump on here every night for the next 16 days. I heard someone say the other day, if you turn up for 35 days straight, it's good for you, it's good for your confidence, it's good for what you're selling, it's good for all the things, right? And when you're showing up live and you're giving from a place of service, like, it just makes you feel so damn good. So I thought that's what I'll do for the next 15 days. Now, I am actually traveling for work next week, so hence why I've put like between 5 and 6 p.m. Australian Western Standard Time as a bit of a that's when I've committed myself to doing it, and hopefully I can show up in that time when work allows me, right? But who I am, hello my friends, my name is Lauree. I am a certified life coach, I am a stop overdrinking coach, breathwork facilitator, disc flow facilitator, all the facilitators, right? But really who I am is I'm a former rum and coke drinker. I'm a former Corona and lime drinker, a former, give me a good Shiraz drinker, a former don't mind a bottle of bubbles drinker. Basically, I would drink anything, right? I could drink just about anything. Wasn't a huge fan of gin or any other kind of spirits, but yeah, my, I suppose, drink of choice was definitely a nice cold rum and coke. I used to call it my mother's milk. Anywho, that's who I am, my friends. And if you are a woman who has big goals or is wanting to kick some goals, or maybe you are currently kicking goals, right? But you still find yourself reaching for that, the glass, even midweek, Friday maybe right now. Even when there's part of you that doesn't want to, I used to drive home from work and go, I'm not going to drink tonight, promise myself. And then end up swinging past the bottle, and next thing you know, I've got a bottle and I'm in my, you can hear my dog barking, in my cozies, sitting there sculling back a couple of drinks. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. This whole series, 16 days, is really for women who are just curious about changing their relationship with alcohol, but don't want to give up their social life, or their identity, or their joy. I think there were so many parts of me that just didn't want to give up something that I had really quite an attachment to. It was an identity that I had for so long, since I was like 14 or 15 years old. So it made sense that I didn't want to let go of it, right? But guess what? You don't actually have a problem, okay? You just have a pattern. And one that's no longer fitting into, who you are and who you are growing into, or who you are learning to become. This is what I hear from clients all the time. I can run a team, I can raise kids, I can launch a business, I can do big things on stage, but why can't I figure this one thing out? Why do I keep doing this to myself? And oh my gosh, I totally get it, because alcohol really becomes an invisible structure in our week. We just don't realize that what we are doing is alcohol, represents a end of the day. Alcohol makes our Wednesday feel so much better when it's hump day. Alcohol gives us permission to rest. I always find this one really interesting. But here's the truth, okay? You don't have a willpower problem. And I think so many of us think that we do. It's like, if I just had more willpower, then I'd be able to do this, surely. Really what you do have is a pattern that was just never questioned. So think about this, right? We started drinking when, let's use me, 13, 14 or 15. I didn't drink every night. I didn't drink every other night. I didn't drink all the time. I certainly binged. But in my 20s, I think about my drinking habits. They kind of started off small, and then they inched their way up. So the older I got, I could consume more and I was drinking more. The passion just kept going up and up. It was like I grew my own capacity to drink more, and the more I drank, I didn't actually feel worse. So that was definitely, for me, that was definitely high functioning. And we used to live next to someone that would say, "You guys are high functioning alcoholics," and we're like, "No, we're not." And I think in truth, like, she worked in the industry, I think in truth we actually were. Of course, we were in total denial. Who wants to be named a high-functioning alcoholic? No way. But yeah, what we had is we had a problem that was just never questioned, and honestly, it's culturally rewarded. So this culture of drinking is all around us. It's normal, and I think that's what we get from a lot of people is like, well, what do you do if you don't drink? Like, we do everything you do without alcohol. The brain's like, what? Yeah, so what if you could enjoy your evenings, reset your nervous system, and actually feel really proud of how you show up during the week without your wine, without your midweek drink? And that's what we're going to explore over the next 16 days together. Today, like, they are just going to be short takeaways, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to tell you my own experience of it, some stories that I've got from clients, some kind of aha moments that drop in for me as I do this challenge as well, and from my own coaching too, because I also get coached, and sometimes it doesn't even have to be about drinking when I'm getting coached. And if I applied the same mindset to drinking, it would actually have the same impact. So any coaching that I get, I like to play with the new thoughts or new beliefs that I'm given and put them into different relationships that I've got. So currently I've been working with someone on some relationship coaching, and I'm asking questions like, does that serve you, and what if it just wasn't true, and who thoughts are optional, they're not actually true. And some of that's really landing for her, and those exact same beliefs, if we transferred them over to Stop Over Drinking, would do like exactly the same thing. It would just blow your mind. So today what I want to offer you is, here's a small takeaway, so this is going to take less than a minute, all right, is to I created the method called pause, feel, connect. And even though this was for a relationship coaching, the process is exactly the same. The method that you can apply is exactly the same. It's simply pause, feel, connect. Okay? And what it is just getting you to notice. Notice when you're reaching for your drink, what's the trigger, what's the catalyst for it, and why you're reaching for the drink. So if you can slow down your reaction speed to just grabbing the drink, if you can slow that down and just notice when and why you reach for a drink, then the second part to this is to ask yourself, what do I think this drink is going to give me? Curious, what do I think this drink is going to give me? Then you could ask, is there another way I could get that same feeling? And I think what's really interesting is that most of us aren't actually aware that our emotion is creating behavior. So if you think about a cognitive thought model or thought processes, thoughts, you have a circumstance, which is, say, let's call it alcohol today. Then you have a thought, and then you have a feeling, and that feeling then creates a behavior, and that behavior helps to create a result. If you think about the feeling, it drives behavior. This is why it's so important to slow down so that we really notice what the feeling is. So 3 things. Notice when you're going for a drink, why you think you should reach for the drink, and ask yourself these 2 questions. What do I think this drink is going to give me? Then the next one is there another way I could get that same feeling? And that's it, my friend. That is our live for today. That is day 1. If you want to get a head start on the Rethink Your Midweek Drink challenge, I have got a free guide for you. I've called it Sober and Satisfied, and it's 5 swaps to help you shift your weeknight habits. Inside that, there are 5 different ways that I've shifted my habits from drinking to not drinking. Even if you pick one and give it a go once this week, give it a go once next week, then you just build from that, right? One step at a time, one foot in front of the other. We just try new things. We try it on like a new jumper, a new jacket. It doesn't fit, then we take it off, we go get another one. Exactly the same thing with thoughts and behaviours and feelings. We can try them on and we can put them off later. So yes, that is, if you want that free copy, just DM me Soul down below and I will DM that through to you. If you want to know more about my Rethink Your Midweek Drink challenge, my 5-day, it's free. Also DM me to find out more. I will be dropping more details about that soon. I've got another 16 days to show up here. And day 2, tomorrow, we're going to be talking about why wine feels like a reward and how you can actually shift that without feeling deprived. And I think that's the biggest thing that we're scared of, is that what are we going to do? Who am I without this thing called alcohol? What am I going to do? And we don't want to be feeling deprived because that's just going to further spiral us into a nervous system frizz or a flight or a fight mode. So we definitely don't want to create that for you. Make sure to follow me, to DM me if you want the freebie, and to ask me about what's coming up next. All right, my friends, have a good night. Bye.